Everybody give Daniel a warm up. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. So I'm having a bit of a populist title today. I'm just following the recent developments in politics. But actually, I'd like to take you on a very quick and short journey of complexity of IT. This is what we deal with on a daily basis. And I think some of it will be interesting. It's across the board, is very eclectic choice of problems that I'm going to present. And hopefully some of you can relate to some of that. So this is a very interesting story from the world of Usenet, and I call it prehistory, because, by the way, please don't get bogged down in amount of information on the slides. Just look into these eyes and remember where to put the chestnuts to. These are just for me as a sort of signpost to start talking about the issues here. So in prehistory, in the world of Usenet, whoever remembers that, I'm hoping some of us do, there was this story about a sysadmin receiving a support call from the Department of Geophysics that they cannot send an email anywhere beyond 500 miles from the location. And as a sysadmin, they said, really? Are you really sure about it? Having choked and catch their breath, they started to asking some questions. However, the geophysicians that phoned the sysadmin in question, being proper science geeks, they have done their research. They've sent emails to various places. They've notified various people that they're sending the emails. Could you respond? Could you not? They've done their work, and actually, it was true that they couldn't send emails somewhere between 500 and 540 miles. Story happens in US. So the guy started investigating. After a whole day of tearing his hair out, he realized that the system where the email server was being hosted has been recently upgraded. And we're talking some ancient Solaris. So let's say from Solaris 5, it was upgraded to Solaris 6. And with Solaris 6, the send mail out of the box was of a lower version than the admin himself was running. So all of his config files, instead of being understood by the newer version of SendMail, were completely misunderstood by much earlier version of SendMail, and all numeric values, including how long should a server wait knocking on other servers' door before it hears back, were set to 0. So basically, taking the speed of light and everything else, it so happens that around 3 milliseconds, these calls were timing out, and taking the speed of light in copper, or the speed of signal in copper, it was around 500 miles. So interesting story about upgrading various components of a complicated system. And this is early 90s, so complexity has gone up. There's an interesting story from the world of Ubuntu, or from the world of Ubuntu and Debian, and it's to do with this utility called file. You can ask your system, identify me this file. You type file, whatever, dan.json, and it'll tell you it's an ASCII file. It's an ASCII file with some line breaks in it and such. You can ask him for MIME type. So imagine being a supporter of a file package in Ubuntu, or actually being a supporter of OpenOffice package in Ubuntu, receiving the ticket that OpenOffice does not print on Tuesdays. Good luck with that. After a lot of investigation, it so happens, the answer is really here, but let me talk through it. It so happens that file utility uses these things called magic files, which basically describe how to identify a given file. And it is some sort of language of sorts. It's a domain-specific language. So some magic files will say, at the 4th byte of a given file, if you see byte of value 08, and at the next byte, if you see value of, say, 16, that file is identified as such. And certain updates to file utility made it understand files based on the comment at the header of the file. And if the comment contained TUE, as in short for Tuesday, at the fourth byte, a file would identify it as a Erlang jam file instead of as a schedule for OpenOffice to print. So wrongly identified file, system didn't identify it as an OpenOffice's scheduling file, and lo and behold, no more printing on Tuesdays. This story is very short because there's no answer on the official internet. I'm sure somebody somewhere has the answer. Basically, if you go to, I provide some links at the bottom of the slides. I should release them as well after the talk. There was this issue with Windows 8 that if your user account had a user in its name, occasionally, that's the funny thing, occasionally, it's not every single time, but sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, task host would occupy most of your CPU. So good luck with that. Windows themselves say that what the fix for that issue is to stop naming user accounts with users, as in you shouldn't have done that. Good for you. What's even funnier is that if you have created a work group, the work group creation creates a default user with user in its name. And think about any other names where user appears somewhere. Moving swiftly on in time, this is a very simple piece of Java code. I'm not sure how many Java developers. Should be relatively easy to read. Do this thing 1,000 times and do the other thing inside it 1,000 times. If the random integer that you pull out of the set of 4 is 0, print out, that's the letter O. Notice the difference. Otherwise, print me a hash sign. And then every time this loop finishes, print a new line. So this is taken from Stack Overflow. And basically, the issue somebody experienced running this code is that if they run the code with a hash, this code took about 8 seconds on the machine. The question on Stack Overflow is about 2-3 years old, so take it as you wish. However, if they replace that with letter B, it run 250 seconds, 8 times longer. And somebody digging around basically found that the system out prints were printing to terminal, and terminal has been set to contain, to break the lines based on words instead of based on characters. So what the terminal does, if you keep printing B's to it, it tries to backtrack, and it goes back, looking for non-word characters. It's all B's or O's. So basically, as you keep printing the 1,000 characters, it has to backtrack, not finding anywhere. So basically printing 1,000 characters long lines and carrying on. Every single character requiring it fully backtracking. And hence the difference. And topic where you could sort of sink the ships, Docker. I'm not sure how many of you use Docker. I do use Docker in production and in testing. To me, Docker is often used by people akin to basically needing a printing press here and needing a storeroom here and some connections in between these things. We create whole cities, bring them into existence, just so that there is a storeroom called MySQL and there is a printing press called whatever you use at the front end. And we come and bash our heads against that complexity. And we should be very careful about it. And to the final point, if you execute that line of code, you're going to have very nicely rosy Merry Christmas.